Hello, and welcome to episode 16, Freeing Yourself from Self Sabotage. And when you free yourself from self sabotage, you're actually aligning yourself with the manifestation. So oftentimes, our inner space is not ready for what we want to create. And because of that, we'll do certain things that will create a sabotaging situation to what we want to manifest, or situations and experiences will come to us and we won't recognize them. It's like we'll miss the person we were supposed to meet, or we'll just miss the opportunities because we're not in alignment with what we truly want. So I want to discuss self-sabotage because it's something that I feel like in the spiritual world, in the healing world, when we're doing this work, it's something that can really screw your progress. It can really screw with you, because if you believe that you have this inner person inside of you that's actually sabotaging your manifestations, it doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good to think that you're working against yourself. You also won't trust yourself. How do you trust yourself if you think that you're always screwing yourself over? It really doesn't make a lot of sense. The way that I like to look at any type of sabotage of your manifestation is just readiness. Like, you're just not ready for it yet. And you've got some more work to do. You've got some more healing to do before that manifestation can come to fruition. You've got some more readiness. Like, you've got to prepare your vibration in order to align with that manifestation. So, if you can understand that everything is energy and that we're wrapping a story around all of the energetic things that we're creating, everything that we are creating, we are infusing it with energy. When we infuse it with energy, that's how we create it. So, I have a little story. It's about a friend of mine, and I'm not going to mention any names. I don't think she listens to my podcast, so I think we're safe. My friend is in the dating world. She's single, divorced a few years, and she has these really low beliefs about herself. And she has these very low beliefs about dating. Like, she literally hates dating. And she has these beliefs that, every guy is just going to blow her off. And because of that, that's what she experiences. So the other day we were together and she actually read this letter that someone had sent to her, and it was very damaging to her worthiness, and she read it to me out loud, and then she read it to my other friend too. So she's carrying this letter around that's 4 or 5 years old, and she's allowing this letter to still be part of her life, still be part of her experience. So, because of that, she's got some really deep wounds, and she's really connecting with what she feels like is truth in this letter. So, she's got to do some healing work for sure. So over the past, I don't know, year, she's been talking about what she wants out of a guy, like what she wants. She wants somebody who wants to travel, someone who's super fun, that likes to go out, that's motivated, all of those things. It's easy to talk to, all of those things. So recently she got set up on a date with this gentleman, and he basically checked off, it seemed, all of the boxes, as she told us. Like, he was super fun, he wanted to travel, he was engaging, they had a lot of laughs. And so after that night, so then we talked to her about it, and she had some things to say that were damaging to that experience. So understand this: everything that you were doing and everything that you were feeling about other people and other experiences is sending that energy to them. So if you're putting up all of these reasons and excuses why something won't work, that person feels it. They may not know it, they may not be conscious of it, but they're going to respond based on the energy that you're giving them, the energy. So if you have issues in your relationships, if you have people that you've got contention with, it's because you're sending them a whole bunch of bullshit, and then they have to give it back to you. So that's a good concept. Like, to understand that concept changes relationships. So she came up with a couple of reasons why this guy wasn't great. And then she says, I love her, by the way. I do. I really do. It's awesome to watch people and the way they create. And you give your advice. People don't always take it. They're not in the vicinity of hearing it. They're not in alignment with it. They don't have belief systems that you have. So, they're creating more by default. So she says, yeah, and then he like texted me and he asked me if I would want to go to Santa Barbara. And I was like, what? Like when? How? Like, I don't know. I've got all these trips and I don't know. And she's like coming back in an overwhelmed state. So here she's got a guy that wants to travel and she's coming up with reasons why she can't travel with him. And like she's kind of turned off by the fact that he wants to travel. I mean, it's just crazy to watch this stuff. So fast forward a couple of days or a week or so, and I asked her how it was going, and she basically said that, he wasn't texting her enough for her liking, and this is why she hates dating and blah 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 blah. And I gave my advice and what I would say to most people, and that is, to go for what you want. Like, this isn't high school. We all have wounds. Like, if you really want to hang out with this guy, like, tell him that you want to be with him, because he's getting mixed signals, right? Like, he's getting her energy that says, this is too much. It's too overwhelming. I hate dating. Like, he's getting that message through her energy. And that's how she sabotaged herself. She wasn't in alignment with it. So ask yourself what you're looking to create, and are you in alignment with it? Are you ready for it? Are you in a position to accept and allow and create that strong desire within you? Or are there things that you're putting in your way? There's that saying all the time, you got to get out of your own way. It's a good saying. It really is. And it is true. But the part that I don't like about it is the belief system that we have things underneath our subconscious that we don't have any ability to connect with. And because of that, we can't fix things. That's very victimhood mentality. And I think it's something that's being taught, in the therapy world, in the psychotherapy world, or, different spiritual modalities. I think it's being taught that there's this idea of self sabotage that we have no control over. And I'm calling bullshit on that today. I am. So, in order to connect with this self sabotage, you have to start asking yourself, if you're first, are you in alignment with your desire? Is it something that you are really interested in creating? Are you willing to do what it takes to create that manifestation? And that means you may have to get into some action. That means you may have to stop some belief systems that are working against you. That may mean you have to do some healing. You have to do some inner work. You got to go within and you got to work on those fears. I was just in my group, and I was talking about how I used to have a fear of being seen. Like, that was a big thing for me. I would there were certain ways that I could put myself out there, like in private groups. I had no trouble doing lives and things like that. I had no trouble creating businesses with partners because that meant it wasn't all on my shoulders. And it wasn't until this year that I really stepped into my power and made a decision that I was going to do what I wanted to do, what I most wanted to do, which was to talk about this and to enlighten people and assist them on their power to create, so that we can become those powerful creators and we can create the world that we want to live in, that we all enjoy, like that we all find joy in the journey. So when you're watching the energy, so this is a great thing for manifestation. When you are looking to create something, so you get a desire and it's pretty strong and you're feeling it, and usually that desire comes from something that you didn't want, right? Because when we know what we don't want, we know what we do want even stronger. So if we can shift that focus to what we do want, then we can create what we do want, and we can leave all that what we don't want to the side. When things don't manifest as fast as we would like, we can often get into desperate energy. We can often start holding on really tight, trying to make things happen, and the energy gets denser and denser. And that's why things get really hard. And when things get hard, you have to step away. You have to make a decision to step away and allow that co creative partnership that you have with the universe. Allow the energies to start working in your favor by letting go and allowing. And your meditation practice is a number one for that, because it's going to help you to relax more, to set your frequency higher, to be more in appreciation and less in desperation. Ask yourself before you do things, before you do activities, what is my energy around this? Am I doing it out of obligation? Am I doing it out of desperation? Am I doing it because I have to? Because I feel like I have to? Are you doing things out of a lot of like dread and drudgery? Because in all of that, there's no room for new energies. There's no room for assistance because you're doing it all on your own and you're not doing it from a very appreciative place. So when your soul isn't ready, so this is the part of self-sabotage that I would like to shift your mindset about. We are all progressing at a certain level, and some of us are going a lot faster than others. And there are others who they're not on this earth plane right now to create a big, splash. They're not here to go into a super high frequency. They're here as a low leveler. They're here in low vibration. They're here in fear. They're here to help society release something. And a lot of us, especially if you're listening to this podcast, you're on a fast track. You want to move faster. You want to work, you want to heal, you want to grow, you want to get to that joy in the journey piece. And because of that, we can often get impatient and we can often get frustrated with ourselves because it's like that whole idea of like, I should know better and I should do better. Don't shit on yourself, first of all. Shitting on yourself is so wrong. Okay, by the way, I'm sitting on a ball. My podcasters can't see, but my YouTubers can. I've had some back issues lately. Yeah, I did some energy work on it, so it's not energy. It's more of a technicality from sitting in a chair too long because I've been doing a lot of computer work and a lot of work in my group. So I decided today, being in solution mode, I decided I was going to sit on a ball. So I'm on the ball today. And it's actually really helping. It is, because it's just putting my back in the right position and it feels a lot better. So I might be rocking and rolling, and I'm sorry to my YouTubers because I'm sure that's very distracting. But when it comes to things like this, like things like pain in your body or things, oh, this is so good. So things that are happening in your life and you've got a certain like energy around them. Like I'll use my daughter for example. Hopefully she doesn't mind. I don't think she listens to this. This is one of my daughters. But so her face has been like seriously breaking out, like super bad. And her energy around it is I keep trying everything. Nothing's working, nothing's working, nothing's working. And so when you have that energy around something, and that's how I was with my back for a while. Like my back has been messed up for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I got a new chair. I was working really hard one day and I was sitting in the chair in a funky position and I whacked my back out. And the whole time with my back, I've had this belief that something was out of whack, like that my pelvis was out or my sacral was out or something was out. And because of that, I've perpetuated a lot of pain. And so I had this massage therapist come over and he's intense. He's very intense. And for whatever reason, I couldn't meet with my regular massage therapist. And then this one showed up because I was very determined to create from solution. So he helped me a lot. The first time he came, he helped me a lot. And I thought I was healing. I really thought that I was getting into, and listen, I'm working out really, really hard every day. So I don't have time for this shit. And when I work out, it actually makes it feel better. So the second time he came over, I'm still in pain. This is like 2 weeks have gone by. And I realize the way that I've been with this is just something is out. He's got to pop it back in. It's never going to get better. Why is this not getting better? Like that was my energy around it. And because of that, it wasn't getting better. So the last time he came over, I talked to him like a lot. Like I wanted to know exactly what was going on. And I wanted to know because when we picture something in our bodies, this is crazy. I've worked with people with Lyme disease. I've worked with people who had Epstein-Barr, healed them, seriously healed them. And I didn't heal them, they healed themselves, but it was the belief system that was keeping them sick. Because when doctors tell you that you have an autoimmune issue and you're never going to heal from it, you buy that as a belief and miracles can't happen. You can't heal from it. And most of our pain and dis-ease is because of emotional trauma, because we have to release the stuck energy in our bodies. So I did some energy work actually with an energy person. Didn't really do much. I didn't really connect with what the person was saying about it. So then I, realized that this is all a manifestation. Every moment is a manifestation. So this is my manifestation, and what am I going to do with it? And then after talking to the massage therapist this week, I realized it's just tight sitting muscles. So he showed me how to sit better in my chair. And that's when I got on the ball. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a yoga ball. Actually, of course, my husband is the one who suggested it. But I was like, oh, I have a yoga ball and I just need to blow it up and see if that helps. And then I did some other things. But what I really did was I stopped thinking about it in that way. I stopped thinking about that back pain being something really serious and something totally out of whack that I had no control over. And I took my power back. So then I started rolling. I have a roller. I don't know where my roller is, but it's like a spiked roller. It's brutal, but it works. I've been stretching. I've been doing that a lot the last couple of weeks, stretching. One of the reasons I think I got myself in this situation is that I had taken a break from stretching, and stretching is necessary to my health. I think it's necessary to all of our health, especially doing the workouts that I do. And then the other thing that I started doing was my gun. I have a massage gun, really getting on those butt muscles, because that's what it is. It's my sitting muscles. So every time I sit down, which is a lot during the day when I'm doing computer work, my muscles just tense up, and then it just creates all this tension, which lays on nerves, and that's what was creating that serious pain. So it wasn't injury. It was not injury. It was really just tight muscles. And I am like, I'd say 85% better for sure. So, what story are you wrapping around certain things in your life that are creating from it, that are creating situations that are not what you want to create? It's important. And my daughter recently, with the face thing, she got in solution mode. She decided there has to be a solution out there, and she found one, and now she's doing a lot better. So it's all about that energetic connection. Am I connecting to nothing works for me? Nothing's ever going to work for me. I'm never going to find anything to work for me. Or am I deciding that I'm going to be in solution? The problem and the solution are different vibrations. So if you are in the problem, sometimes you have to pull yourself away from it and stop thinking about it for a little while and let the vibration change, and also let the energy change. Because when we let things go, we actually change the energy around it, and we allow those universal forces to come in, God, source, whatever you want to call it. We allow that expression of energy to co-create with us. When we allow that energy to co-create with us, that's when miracles happen. That's when all of a sudden something happens. You go, holy crap, where'd that come from? That's the surprise and the delight that I love so much. So if your soul isn't ready yet and you need more healing, understand it's like going to a party that hasn't started yet. That's what it is. It's like you want to get there. I remember this. Oh, this is so cool. I was working with this woman back in Connecticut, and she was an angel in my life for sure. And she came to me when I was moving, like in the process of moving, and she helped me to grieve my stuff. And she did yoga, she did a lot of energy work, and she really helped me to process all of the things that I needed to process to get through that moment in my life. And actually, her husband and her son were the only people, and I had just met her like 3 or 4 months before this, who showed up the last night of our move and helped us till like 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, they were just absolutely amazing people. And she said to me, I remember feeling very impatient about moving to California, and just like, this was probably before we booked our plane tickets, and just like, when is it going to happen? And when is it going to happen? And she said, you don't want to get to the party before it started. You want to get there when the party is kicking off. Like, doesn't it suck to like get to a party first when everything's like all awkward? And the people who get to the party early usually are very awkward because they don't really want to socialize. That's why they get there early, so they can leave early. So you want to get there when the party is kicking off. So you want to make sure you're ready for this manifestation, because if you're not ready for the manifestation and you're not in true alignment to it, you're going to miss it. It's going to miss you. So you got to get ready. How do I get ready? How do I prepare my vibration? If I'm looking to create a business, or if I'm looking to move somewhere, what does it mean to get ready for that? Can I go online and look at houses? Can I get more excited about it? Can I align with people that live there? Can I get in residence groups? So I think I shared a little while ago that my husband and I had been on a golf cart we went to Catalina for his birthday for the weekend, and we were driving a golf cart around, and we freaking loved it. It was so much fun just to like hop on and off a golf cart, and to be able to have like the wind and just the beautiful scenery. And I was like, we need to live somewhere where we can just jump in a golf cart. I don't know if that makes me old. It might. I'm only 48, so I don't. I'm getting there, I guess. But who gives a shit, right? So that night we're watching a Caribbean life show, and there's this place called the Exuma Bahamas, and that's what they do. They get around on golf carts, and it is gorgeous. And the Bahamas is like one of my favorite places that I've ever been. The water is just incredible. The weather, all of it is just so great. So so then we kind of let it go. We're like, oh yeah, that's it. Let's go there. Let's check it out. Let's see, maybe we'll do like an Airbnb or live there half the year or whatever. And down the road, of course. And the next thing I know, one of my friends on Facebook from where I used to live was in Exuma, Bahamas. Like, I have never even heard of this place before. And my husband, who's like so blown away by that, goes on Facebook and looks for residence groups or just groups that have to do with Exuma, Bahamas. So we find this group. So now this group is on my Facebook feed every day, and I'm seeing people asking questions about what it's like to live there, what it's like to visit, what to do. So now it's in my field. So pretty sure that trip's happening soon. so so that's what happens. You see that the energy is co-creating with you, and you open fields, you open doors. Like, that sparked a desire. That being in that golf cart sparked a desire. That show was an indication and evidence that a desire was sparked, right? I mean, what are the chances that we watch a show that night with people driving around in golf carts, and then a couple days later to see it on Facebook? It's like, so freaking cool, you guys. Like, literally so cool to be able to manifest like this, where you see evidence of it pretty quickly. So there's always going to be signs that are going to tell you if your energy is in the right place, and if you are in that readiness process, if you are ready to be ready. If your soul isn't ready, or if you're, even if you're in relationships with people and you're trying to tell them things, like I was trying to tell my friend, and they're not picking it up. They're not picking up what you're laying down. You are literally wasting your breath. And I know when I'm wasting my breath. Because I can read energy. And because you are wasting your breath, you are taking yourself out of joy, and you're creating a lot of misery. So understand, when people have belief systems or you have belief systems, the only evidence you're going to see is based on those belief systems, and you cannot force someone else to see a belief system that they don't believe. I mean, unless they're open and aware and ready to grow, it's like beating your head against a wall. I don't recommend it. When it comes to energy, and I know I've said this before, but it's so important to understand, awareness changes nothing. And I was just having a discussion with my one of my daughters about this, and it's like when I was a young mom, and I'm gonna slide off this ball. When I was a young mom, and I would literally yell at my kids. Yes, I was a yeller back in the day when I, was unhealed and wounded, and they were pushing every single button they possibly could. And I would yell at them, and I would literally be above my body. Like, I could see myself. And I was also like, to the point where I was like telling myself, like, stop it. Like, you don't want to do this. Like, this is not healthy for them or for you. Like, and what you're yelling about doesn't even matter. So I would get this like higher perspective, but it changed nothing because I was in my trigger. I was in my wound. And when we're in our triggers and we're in our wounds, we have very, very little control over our output. We have very little control over our co-creative power. We do, because what we're doing is we're just going on neural pathways. We're going on habits of thought. We're going on addictions to emotions, and we're not creating awareness. It is the first step. It's definitely a first step. You have to be aware of what you're doing before you can change it. But it won't change anything until you go within and start healing. And I started working with, God, I've been working with energy healers probably. We started with when one of my daughters was a teenager, and we were having a really hard time with her, and we wanted her to go to therapy. And I remember calling this wonderful woman who saw me through a lot, and she said, "It's not your daughter that needs therapy." Oh, she did great work. She was an energy healer, and she definitely healed a lot of my energy, and she helped us to transform our relationship with our daughter. And the biggest thing that I think she did in that situation was she helped us to get compassion, to have compassion for her, and to understand all the things that she was going through, and that the things that she was doing was not just to piss us off. Like, we do that as parents. We think, they're just doing this to piss us off. And it's like, you know what? They're not really thinking about you that much. Don't give yourself too much credit, because teenagers are very self-involved, and they're really just doing what they're doing because they feel like they have no power. They feel like they have no control, and they have to exercise it by driving you crazy, for real. Read my parenting book, Quantum Speak for Parents. That is very helpful, especially if you are in the teenage years or the toddler years. There's some good stuff about toddlers in there as well, because I have a grandbaby, so she's reignited that within me. Okay. Knowing when to act is a big thing that has come up recently within our family, and so some certain things that we have done that have made us realize that taking a pause is so valuable. So, we live in a very fast paced society that wants answers right away, and they want us to be quick with them. And, it's a fast moving, I need an answer like yesterday. And because of that, we've lost the ability to go within and get our own answers and see what's really right for us. We also, when we rush to decide and we rush to make decisions, we leave out that co creative partnership. Remember, we have that co creative partnership with universe, source, God, whatever you like to call it. And because of that, when we make a snap judgment about something, it's not always right for us. And things don't always work out for us when we do that. So I was talking to my husband the other night, and he was sharing some things about some job stuff, and I was sharing some things about something that I was doing. And we both really benefited from pausing. We both really benefited from not answering right away. Like, what I was about to do, the price got dropped by like a crazy amount. And then it became like a no-brainer. And so when you watch the energy, right? Like, it's like, I'm not going to do anything right now. I'm going to see what happens next. And I'm going to let the energy tell me what to do, because it will either go into flow or it will become hard. And if it's hard, then it's not right. It's time to step away and let other things manifest that are going to be helpful, that are going to allow you. We have a saying, the path of least resistance. Like, if it's hard, it's not worth it. It's not right. It's not right if it's hard. We're so used to working so hard and, you know, like white knuckling shit. And it's like, don't we want to live life a little more easily? Don't we want to live life in joy? Don't we want to align with abundance instead of like, kicking the crap out of stuff to make it happen? It's such a better way to live. So when you become a master at watching energy, and you become a master at manifesting your own output, where you don't have to be rushed into saying things, and you don't worry so much about what other people are thinking. You really just are in your own element. You're owning your own stuff. You're standing in your own power. When you become that master of energy, watching energy, co-creating with energy, then life becomes a really cool journey, because then you've got the faith, you've got the trust, you've got the knowing, you've got all of it. You've got all of it that allows you to become this like mad scientist. Not mad, but like in a cool way, like a powerful scientist, where you're just like playing with energy, and you're getting the process, you're understanding the process, so you're not making life suck all the time. You're not living in misery over your contrast. You're understanding that your contrast, your challenges are creating stronger desire, which is actually getting you ready. Your strong desire is getting you ready. And when things get really bad, like we, call it the nails in the coffin, when things get really, really bad, the energy gets really dense. That's where it's about to pop. That's when it's about to get better, because you're either going to quit doing what you're doing. The universe is either going to take it away, or, you're going to get into a situation where like enough is enough. Enough is enough. And the energy is going to shift, because you're no longer in desperation. You're no longer in the focus on what you don't want. You're like trusting and believing, like, hey, I'm going to leap and there's going to be a net to catch me. Takes a little bit to get there. It definitely is. It takes creating a lot. It takes creating like pretty intense things to see that and to really gain confidence in it. Becoming a master is when you know what you want. Okay, you know what you want. You know very clearly what you want. You're not in the energy of not wanting. You're in the energy of what you do want. You've gotten very clear. You've written it down. Writing is the strongest form of focus. Boom, boom, boom. This is what I want. I'm manifesting this. Then you focus upon it. So whatever it is, you visualize, you feel into it, you start creating from the identity of it. You start asking yourself, what would I do if I was actually already living that? You start just opening up the field of infinite possibilities where you're like in that inspired action, like, oh, I'm going to go here and I'm going to talk to this person and I'm going to do this and that. Then you place yourself in a very high frequency about it. And that's a lot of that is meditation, right? Like getting into that relaxed mode, putting yourself in a higher frequency. Meditation will always up your frequency as long as you're meditating to change your state. You're not just sitting there falling asleep. You're actually working on getting as clear and as quiet as you can so everything in your body relaxes. So everything is let go of so that you clear the slate, right? That's why quantum physics calls it zero state awareness. It's where everything is created from. You're like at zero. So you get yourself into a higher frequency state. You start focusing on things that really bring you joy, things that really like light you up, help you to feel passionate, make you get lost. You ever get lost in stuff where like hours go by and you're like, holy cow, like I didn't even know what time it was because I was so engrossed in what I'm doing. That's activation of serious energy when you're in that kind of creation process. And then you embrace the contrast, which means anything that happens, you look at it and you go, it's coming. It's coming, because I know when it starts to get really tense, really dense, I know that it's just a matter of time before we're going to shift this. And you get excited about that contrast. When you get excited about contrast, like, oh, I can't wait to see what's going to manifest from this, the energy moves so fast because you're not in resistance. When you're close to it, yeah, I said this before, but when you're close to it, it can get worse. That's the thing. And so when you see it getting worse, just know that the energy is shifting because it's changing, because it's getting even more intense. When it gets even more intense, that's when you're about to break free. That's when you're about to, it's like, like when they're going out of the atmosphere and they're like, it's really, really, really tense. And then they, woo, it releases them, like releases that energy releases. Then you feel super, super intense, and then all of a sudden there's like this massive amount of relief on the other side. And I've said this before too, but every contrast, everything that's happening is leading you to a greater capacity for joy. Like I say to people all the time now, when I go into stores and I see their faces, it's something that we took for granted before. Seeing people smile. I smile at everyone now, and I never really, I did. I'm a smiler. There's no doubt about it. But now I feel more connection because we were disconnected, because we had that disconnection. So now there's a greater capacity for joy. I didn't used to love going to the grocery store, and now I kind of love it because I don't have to, suffocate while I'm there. You can disagree with me. It's okay. When it gets worse, what happens is when the energy gets really dense, it's creating stronger desire in you. And when it creates stronger desire, it's actually amping up the energy. And because it's amping up the energy, that's when you start going on the pathway to create what you really want. It's really a fascinating process. And when you watch it, when you're able to watch it from a mastery perspective, and you're all masters, you all can be masters at this very quickly. When you start to see energy unfolding because of what you're putting out, because of what you're feeling, and you start seeing these things that surprise and delight you, it is so fun. It is so fun, and it helps you to gain confidence and self-esteem, and it helps you to want to create. It helps you to want to have desires. One of the reasons why people stop dreaming is because the dreaming hurts. It hurts because they don't think they can have it, and that's the only reason why it hurts. If you have that dream on your heart, you have the wherewithal to create it. And when you get excited about that and you see all of the contrast around it, and you see all of the things that are happening around that, and you start changing your story, and you start changing your beliefs, and you start healing, and you start releasing that energy that was creating that constriction, and that the shutting down of the energy fields, I call it. Yeah. Shutting down of the energy fields means you don't believe it's coming, and it still can manifest. It absolutely can still manifest. I've definitely had, like, in the throes of the most fear of my life, things have manifested. There's no doubt about it. And that's just because of strong desire. Like, it's still going to work. It's still going to work. But if you're not in alignment with it, which means the energetic field means I feel worthy of it. I know I deserve this. Like, those are the hugest things, blocks to manifestation that I have seen. Self-love, worthiness, deservedness, all of it. And that crazy ass belief that we need to apologize for our wonderful lives. That we need to apologize for having great things happen to us, when we don't share things because we don't think people are going to be happy for us. They're going to be jealous. Like when we dim our light because we're afraid somebody else is going to feel shadowed by it. What? How about we shine our light to empower other people to shine theirs? And how about we heal our wounds so we no longer have to hide from the fact that we have this big, brilliant, beautiful light to shine? How about that? How about we stop comparing ourselves to others and put ourselves in a position where we can really ignite the fire within and step into our power to create? And when we do that, oh my goodness, so much goodness comes. Like, so much goodness is connected on the other side of that when you let all that bullshit go. Like, that's all those 5-year-old belief systems. That's all the crap and the traumas and the stuff that happened to you in the past creating. And when you go within and you say no more, and you start doing the energy work and the releasing and all of that stuff, that's when you really start to see who you are. And that's when you really start to create from the power that you have to create. I mean, you're already a powerful creator. It's just you've never really taken the reins before. Maybe you have. I mean, you're listening to this, so obviously you've taken some sort of reins. But maybe you have been in a position where you never felt like you could. Victimhood it's real. It's real when it comes to people believing it, for sure. We see a lot of victims in this world, and we see a lot of people that have been disempowered by things like government, things like their parents, disempowered by abusers. I mean, all sorts of things that we've seen, witnessed victimhood, but we don't have to do it anymore. We don't have to be a part of that. We can cut those generational ties, and we can say enough is enough. We're going to stand in our power to create. And then we're going to see evidence of it, which is fantastic. All right, this is a short show today, which you might be glad about. These shows are long, man. I got a lot to say. But I've got some good stuff planned, and I'll just do a couple of plugs. I've got some group coaching stuff going on right now that is phenomenal, seriously phenomenal. And I'm going to be launching that program again pretty soon, in a couple of weeks probably. So if you're interested, email me at Live Life Golden, and I'll put you on the list, because I'm only going to be able to take a certain amount of people. And then that has actually really lit up my world. I haven't done coaching in a long time, and I really love the forum of group coaching. It is an absolute, it's just so rewarding, and to see people really doing the work and going within, and to be in a position where I can do that. I can do that, and I can offer that, and it feels really good. And it doesn't zap my energy, because I'm doing it with so many people that, it feels life-giving instead of life-sucking, which has been in the past. So I've got that going on. And then you can follow me on Instagram at Live Life Golden. I've got some good stuff planned for Instagram I'm excited about. And I've got some other really exciting things that are going on. So I can't wait to share all of that with you. I've got my book, Quantum Speak. If you've never read that, it's available on Amazon. And it's also on my website, livelifegolden.com. And I'll actually sign a copy for you and send it to you if you email me about that, or if you purchase it on the site, actually, it'll send me an email. And then Quantum Speak for Parents is also on there and also on Amazon. And I think that's it. So, because this is a really quick show, I'm thinking maybe I'll do a little release for you because I haven't done that in a while. And this victimhood stuff and this self sabotage stuff really lends to releasing. So, hopefully, you're not driving. If you are, pause this and wait until you get in your driveway because you don't want to be doing this when you're driving. But I invite you all to close your eyes and just take a nice, long, slow, deep breath. And just let all the energy out. And take another long, slow, deep breath. And just coming from the top of your head, imagine there's this beautiful, white, warm, golden light. And it's opening up the crown of your head. And as it comes into the crown of your head, it just is a little cleansing and clearing action of your neural pathways. So just imagine this light is clearing out all those low vibrational thoughts, those low frequency fears, anything that the mind has been bringing to you that feels like problems, that feels like confusion, feels like powerlessness. Good. Then bringing that light down the back of your head and the back of your neck. Release all the tension there and take a deep breath and just release all that burden. Yeah. Release all the heaviness, the responsibility, the carrying the world on your shoulders. Release all the tension, all the resentment, and anything across the shoulders that's been causing you to feel heavy. Good. And then let that light come down across your forehead, just igniting that forehead, igniting that intuition, releasing any blockages or confusion that you may have there. Then bring that down into your temples and across your eyebrows and just release stress. Release tension in the eyes, behind the eyes. And then let that energy come down your jaw. And we just light up the jaw, releasing all anger, releasing all tension and tightness and clenching. Yeah, release the clenching. Then let that light come down into your throat and releasing all the energy in your throat. So this is blockages to your truth, releasing all energy around your throat that has caused you to not feel like your words are worthy, that your thoughts are worthy or your opinions are worthy. Yeah, just breathe that out. That no longer serves you. And coming down into your heart, we ask for a full activation of release of all the low vibration energies in the heart. So releasing energies of unlovable, abandonment, unforgiveness, resentments, jealousies, and just all the energies of self-hatred and any energies of grief, anything that resides in the heart, the brokenheartedness, the belief that you're not good enough. Just release all of that. And then bringing that light down into your abdomen, we just call upon that power center and we ask for any energies in the power center to be fully released. So, any energies of low self esteem, a low self confidence, unworthiness, powerlessness, energies and connections that cause you to feel not good enough, not worthy enough. And then bringing that energy down below into the sacral chakra, we release all blockages to your creativity, all blockages to your emotional balancing. So anything that feels like depression, fear, blockages to your sexual energy, we release all energies of shame, guilt, releasing any blockages to our passions, to our emotional field being balanced. So seeing our emotions as valuable to everyone and as a window into our healing. And then bringing that light below into our root chakra, we release all energies of distrust, distrust of the universe, distrust of ourselves. We release all energies of fear around finances, fear of support and security. We release all energies of lack, all energies that block our abundance and prosperity. And we release the energies that there's any beliefs that say things are not working out for us. Yeah. So unlucky, that we're unlucky, that things don't work out, releasing all of that. And in this beautiful, clear space, we bring in light. We call on the light of the divine to light up our entire beings, our cellular structures, our DNA, and igniting that fire within, allowing us to truly connect with the powerful beings that we are, to connect with that powerful creator force. Yeah, the life force that calls all energy through us, our passions, our desires, seeing our heart's desires as something positive and beautiful and fun and something to pursue, allowing that co-creative energy of the universe to be one with us, to call on those non-physical energies and to truly believe that we've got this army of support always with us. Feeling that joy within your heart, that love spark, that unconditional love that you are an expression of, igniting your creativity and igniting that beautiful mind that you have that can connect with your intuition. So connecting that, allowing you to have space and quiet so that you can actually connect with your real true heart, your real true desires, and your real truth that you are a powerful creator. And just taking a couple of deep breaths and letting all of that acclimate into your cells. You may feel a little tingly. You may feel the energies all around you. You may feel nothing. It doesn't matter. It still worked because it is the energy that we are an expression of. So just opening up that pathway, opening up that infinite potential for possibilities, and opening up our awareness to all of it. All right, you beautiful people. Thank you for another wonderful time together, even though I'm sitting here talking to myself. Hopefully you are enjoying this. It is 4:44, so that's pretty cool. That is my number for angels. So whenever I see 4:44, really cool that I just called on our non-physical support and then I opened my eyes at 4:44. Believe in miracles, man. Believe in it. Believe in this non-physical world. I believe I shared with you guys the book from Anita Morjani, I forgot the name of it. But she died. She died and came back to life. And she said, it's literally like we have a flashlight in life. And when you pass over, when you cross over, it's like the spotlight comes on and you see all these other energies were at work in your favor and you missed them because you only had the perspective of the flashlight. So I feel like meditation, quieting, going within ignites that spotlight. It starts to get you to see more, to be aware of more, and to expect more from your life story. So let's create it. Let's get together and do this joy journey. I love y'all. Peace.